A warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to all once again to the campus SNIST. And today we are going to have a refresher and orientation course on entrepreneurship session exclusively. Hi all of you, this is Dr. B. Madhura from School of Management Studies SNIST. Today we are going to discuss about a few contents on the topic called entrepreneurship. The following are the contents which we are going to discuss in this particular module: employment versus entrepreneurship, qualities of an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship vocabulary, roadmap of a startup, renowned Indian startups, and distinct SNIST startups. Okay, it is a proud privilege to announce for all of you to inform you that we do have a Srinidhi Hub Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development in our campus. So it is an advantage for all the students to gain access and have overall wide information about the real-time process of starting their own startups. Now let's focus into the contents in detail. The first content of the topic we are going to discuss is employee versus entrepreneur. What are the benefits you are going to gain when you have taken up an entrepreneur over your employment? In the employment process, you are going to work for others, and you are going to create some value to the others. Whereas under the entrepreneurship, you are going to be your own boss, you are the creator of your own destiny, as well as you are going to give a lot of opportunity for the others. Similarly, in employment, you are going to follow the instructions given by your superiors and your seniors, whereas in entrepreneurship, you can make your own plans. Employment is a kind of a routine job and a monotonous work where it does not involve any kind of creativity. Whereas entrepreneurship, it involves lot of creativity, day-to-day problem solving, a logical analysis, and you will be having lot of challenging tasks to prove to yourself. Earning is fixed in employment. Generally, you are going to create a surplus amount of money if your business has been growing and prospering. Employment can be a negative sometimes, but never a negative sometimes under your entrepreneurship. So employment does not create any kind of a wealth. Under entrepreneurship, you can create lot of wealth, and not only that one, you can also contribute to your GDP. Employment generation is of generally three forms, sir. It can be in the process of income generation, it can be self-employment, and the third stage is the final where entrepreneurship is a terminal stage of entrepreneurship process. Income generation is initial stage of entrepreneurial process where one try to generate surplus of profits amount of money by choosing any one kind of jobs they would like to earn their bread and butter. Self-employment is the second stage in the entrepreneurial process, and it refers to an individual's full-time involvement in his own occupation. So most of the people, if we observe, they will be involving in their family businesses where they have been already started by their forefathers and their fathers' businesses they are going to join, and they continue with their occupation. Then the final stage, the terminal stage, is entrepreneurship, wherein after setting up a venture, one looks for diversification and a growth. Once you started your business, everybody would like to have their growth and prosperity in their business. So why I should take entrepreneurship as my career option? It might be a wonderful question in the minds of yours, but if you see that entrepreneurship gives you a lot of freedom to work and be your own boss and also boss to the others. You are not only making money to yourself, but you're also going to create some kind of a wealth which is going to benefit for the people as well as for the society. And moreover, it is going to create lot of employment opportunities for many of the families. So your participation in every aspect of running a business is quite essential, because everyday experience is a new lesson to learn and come up with your business new ideas. Working directly for the customers really gives a very good experience, because you are directly dealing with the customers who are having their problems, knowing their pains, knowing their gains, and your working out is really a fantastic job. Then personal satisfaction of owning and running a business venture you will be deriving, of course, to yourself. You have a very great retirement value, and you gain lot of respect not only in the family, but also you're going to enjoy the image and the status in the society. People remember you for a long period of decades. Satisfaction of being the creator of a job for many of the people, because many families will be able to earn their income when you have started providing many jobs. Now let's look into the reasons why most of the people would like to prefer for the entrepreneurship. 42% of the people have an idea that needed to be taken into the market. Okay, they preferred to be their own boss. Nearly around 60% of the people felt like that they wanted to be their own boss, and 36% of the people desired for better work personal balances. 18% felt entrepreneurship would be more financially rewarding rather than undergoing any employment opportunity and taking a job working for more than 8 hours, and at the end of the day you are going to get a cash in hand and you're going to see that only once in a month. 75%, the majority of the people say that they would like to work in a creative and innovative manner where they would like to exhibit their creativity skills and innovation skills, and remaining 12% remains to the others. So percentages will not add to 100 due to multiple choices. Everybody will have their own choice of choosing their own career, of course. Now let's look into the other aspect. What are the qualities of entrepreneurship? To become an entrepreneur, you need to have certain skills like mathematical skills, problem solving skills, and decision making skills. They're all related to your skills. But when it is come to the being a quality of an entrepreneurship, the first and the foremost is ability to innovate. You need to have that ability to think newly and innovate some new thing which is going to helpful for the people, that is your customers. Need to have a business oriented tendency. Look from the business point of view, how you are going to create value to the society and to the customers. You need to have the organizing function, how well you are going to organize your resources. The resources includes not only the men, material and machine, it also includes the technology, because nowadays if you see the technology is being taking place a lot. Without a technology upgradation, you cannot able to focus on your business. Managerial and leadership function, of course, leadership's qualities as well as manageable qualities both are required. To manage the things and to lead the things, both skills are required. Knowledge based function, you need to possess your competitor analysis, competitor knowledge, market analysis, then customer analysis. The three things are very, very important, so that you need to have updation of the knowledge about the three factors, that is competitor, customer and market. You need to work based upon the principles but not on your individual activities and interest and passion. Focus based should be done on the basis of the principles. I think I have been explained you here a few qualities of entrepreneurship. Okay, now let's look into the vocabulary of a few terms, sir. What is entrepreneurship? What is an incubator? We just have a simple, crispy definitions of knowing the terms. Entrepreneurship is a kind of a process where it creates value to the business. Okay, and this value gets created through the ideation process, through designing the product, through implementing the product, and finally evaluating it. Okay, so a person who is involved in this process of value creation, he is generally referred to as an entrepreneur. Okay. Next, what is an incubator? An incubator is a program to assist the newest startup businesses to take ideas and create viable business models, strategies and profit plans for them. So most of the campus, universities, colleges, they are going to have their own incubators where they are going to provide assistance to the newly startups in building the business models, in financially helping the startups to come up. Next, proof of concept. A proof of concept is an understanding about whether or not the idea, product or service is feasible and has potential. Okay, so not all ideas are good ideas, at the same time not all ideas are bad ideas, but we need to make an testing whether that particular idea is going to workable or not workable. So for this very reason, we call the concept as proof of concept, where we are going to check out whether the particular idea is feasible or not. Next concept is a business model. A business model is a description of how an existing business or business idea can achieve success and make profit and create value. So an idea is not just to solve a problem, an idea is not just to create a value, but three things has to be kept in a point. It has to meet the need of the customer, it has to make profits, it has to create some value. So for all these reasons, we are going to refer to a particular business model where every business is going to have its own model. The next alternative to it is business model canvas. Soon after developing an idea, we cannot start a business and make it enter into the market. We need to know and understand a business model canvas, which is precisely says what are the blocks we need to understand and what are the blocks we need to fill up, okay, and before we are going to implement our idea into the market. So all the blocks will give us some idea how we are going to work out on our idea. Elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is a concept which states that make your idea in a simple, crispy manner so that your investors can understand and reach out to you by providing some kind of financial assistance to you. So how best you are going to pitch your voice in a single second and attract your investors, that all depends upon your elevator pitch. Okay. Then the next concept we are having is a minimum viable product. A minimum viable product states that how customer will be able to pay for your product. So what are those features which you have been included in your product? Will the customer is having the capability and having a worth to pay for your product? So it is very important that you are going to do testing of your product before you are going to launch into the market directly. So you have to conduct some problem solving test and solution solving test to make your minimum viable product, to reach out to a minimum viable product. Unicorn. A unicorn is a startup company usually privately held which reaches a valuation of over $1 billion. Okay. Unique selling point. Okay. Why a customer has to purchase your product? Why not the competitors? So what is that special feature is there in your product that attracts the customers? So you need to understand what is your unique selling point. It is that a special and uniqueness where no other competitor is providing and where it makes you too easily to attract your competitors, right? Angel. An angel is a type of an investor. These sort of financial people will come up to provide you some sort of seed capital, seed amount for your idea to take into the first step. These angel investors are highly risk takers because they do not know whether your idea is going to work out or not, and they do not know whether your business will be prospering or not. But they take the lot of risk and come forward providing you the seed capital which is required for starting your startup business, right? Then venture capital. Venture capital or venture capitalists are those people who come forward providing a large amount of financial assistance when your business started growing, when your business starts getting a lot of profits and everything. So that is going to be taken place. Okay. Now let's look up into the young successful startups. Oyo founder Ritesh Agarwal, everybody well known. Now net worth of $1.1 billion he's been holding. Next, Flipkart was founded in October 2007 by Sachin Bansal and Binny Bansal. Net worth of $15 billion right now. And very interesting, this one is Redbus. It was founded in 2006 by Fanindra Sama, Sudhakar Paspanuri and Charan Padmaraju. They all belongs to the engineering background and they are the students who have been founded this from the Birla Institute of Technology and Science. Acquired at $100 to $110 billion as of now. Okay. Young successful startups, Paytm founder Vijay Shekhar Sharma, 2017 by the Forbes with a net worth of $2.1 billion. Bhavish co-founded Olo Cabs with Ankit Bhatia in Mumbai, net worth of NRI 3,100 crores. Okay, now let's look into the roadmap of a startup. Okay, generally you need to face a lot of struggles and challenges and face many of problems before launching the product. And after that, launching the project, you will be having an initial excitement. After initial excitement, you are going to see the reality check to what extent your customers have accepted your product and rejected your product. Then the obstacles you are going to go through, you are overcoming, the real work starts, and then once it has been fetched your product, the scale up mountain. Okay. Once again, welcome to SNIST. Thank you and stay safe.